Welcome back to TLT Talks Live. It is now 2021. Who'd have thunk it? Just yesterday it was like 2020, the new decade. What's up, Mike? How's it going? Today we have a very exciting show for you guys. The brains that's typically behind the lens today is coming in front of the lens. There it is, the one, the only head of marketing, head of operations, head of finance, head of social media, head of making sure Eugene hasn't lost his damn mind. Sarah Katz, how are you, my love?
It's a very hard job.
Yes, it is.
Very
I do not envy you.
to make sure Eugene has not lost his mind.
I do not envy you at all. I do not envy you at all. I'll show up and I'll be like, all right, hey Sarah, I think we should like go to the moon. And Sarah will be like, dude, but what about the rocket ship? It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. We'll build a rocket ship. But we've never built a rocket ship, but we built other things. We could build it right. And so that's what Sarah has to deal with literally every single day.
Yep. It's all good though, because as soon as I start building the rocket ship, I'm like, wait, we don't have to stop at the moon.
That's right.
Mars also.
That's right. We totally egg each other out for sure. Sarah Katz, I wouldn't have it any other way. So folks, welcome. We are very excited to relaunch TLT Talks coming into this new year. Well, 2020 was certainly a wild one, you know, funny hashtag.
Year.
The clear year. Man, you know what? When we came up with the clear year, did not know how much.
This is also what I have to deal with.
Correction. When Sarah Katz came up with the clear year, man, oh man, did I have no idea how much clarity it would actually produce, and that it did. And it's actually funny, we were toying around with, we're trying to pick a good hashtag for 2021, and one that keeps coming up is like hashtag hindsight is 2020. But I feel like that's yesterday. I feel like, you know, we got to talk about tomorrow too. So we're not quite there yet, but we'll get there. But we thought we'd just have a quick chat to reflect on 2020, share, you know, our model of the world, you know, how we saw the year going down, share any experiences. For anyone watching, this is not meant to be Leanne. Happy New Year to you as well.
Happy New Year, Leanne.
This is not meant to be in any way, shape, or form a lecture. So please, if you've got questions, comments, chime in. Yeah, talk to us. Should be a fun chat today. So without further ado, Sarah Katz, I got a question for you.
Sure.
Give me a fun fact about you from 2020. From 2020. Ooh.
We threw a little.
I did. Sarah and I just spent about 40 minutes preparing for this, and I stumped her. I did not put that on the agenda.
Fun fact about 2020. It made me obsessed with my finances.
Mm-hmm.
There were a couple of things that happened in the beginning of the year that put me in a position that I hadn't been in before. And because, you know, I spent most of my money on traveling, to be honest. So when everything shut down and I couldn't travel anymore, I ended up with all this extra money that I would have otherwise spent doing things. And so I just became obsessed with what else I could do with my money in the meantime, how I could make it grow. I mean, everybody was seeing the news. The stock market was on fire. People are making tons of money. And so, of course, it gets really exciting. But if you don't have any money to take advantage of these opportunities, it leaves you feeling really left out. And that's how I felt for the last few years. This year, again, because of the lack of travel, I had some extra and was able to start my journey into building financial freedom. So that was really exciting. I guess it's fun for some people. That'll be fun. For others, I also do a lot of arts and crafts.
And I'm sorry, do you have a new address?
I do have a new address. I moved. Thank you. But that came from the obsession with finance.
This is true.
I did move. I switched apartments. Still in Williamsburg. Can't leave Williamsburg, but I did get an apartment that is a lot less expensive per month, which gave me a lot more to start investing with. So. And by the way,
this is like a big kid apartment. I mean, this is like a 2-bedroom. The living room's gorgeous. It's like everything about it. I mean, honestly, when Sarah was making the move at first, I thought to myself, like, well, is this a downgrade? Is this like a step back to take three forward? And then when I walked into, I'm like, dude, I like this place way better than your other
Thank
place.
you.
Can you pick up the phone? Can you show us your art behind you? It's like my favorite part.
Sure.
Look how cool that is. Look how cool that is. Our place is like, it's like an Amazon. It's like I felt like I was back in
Yeah, I got a lot
Safari.
of plants. Little jungle here. Can't go
Uh,
outside as much, so I had to bring the outside indoors.
yeah, well, we got a lot to cover, and we both have a hard stop at 12:30 today. So my fun fact was I got myself. I've always wanted to be like a good planker, and I set a personal record of 3 minutes and 20 seconds on a plank.
Okay.
So the goal is to get to 5 minutes. That's where I want to be. I want to get to 5 minutes. That's the 2021 goal.
So you
Is
hit 3 minutes?
I did, I did
Nice.
three and
Impressive.
change. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So Sarah Katz, tell me about your 2020. I'm interested in the clock strikes midnight. It's January 1, 12:01 a.m. The year starts, and give me a high level account of what 2020 was like in your eyes, leading all the way up until you and I are texting each other at midnight of 2020, I guess, right? Or 2021, I guess, right after midnight.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm sure everybody can say that 2020 was a really wild year, but it started really promising, right? We came into 2020 with some awesome goals and had a lot of ideas, a lot of structure, a lot of strategy and plan in place to just kill 2020 and started rolling with it. By March, everything went out the window. I
Right.
did get to, I got a little bit of traveling before
Mm-hmm.
everything shut down. So I went away in February around my birthday, and then I got to get out of here. And then very shortly after I got back, everything started shutting down. And real estate is a pretty antiquated industry. So when everything shut down, everyone was like, well, how are we going to do things now? People still need to move, but we can't get out and show apartments. We can't be in person in person with people to sign leases and contracts, and it was just like, what's going to happen? And
Right.
so
Like,
the entire,
speed bump. We need to rent and sell apartments, but we can't show them. What?
yeah,
Great. Good luck. Good
no
luck.
biggie.
Good luck.
Sure, we'll take that challenge on. And and it's not, it wasn't just a matter of like, how do we continue to work? It wasn't just like we needed to rent and sell apartments. People needed to move because of what was happening, right? Like homes were no longer sufficient. The homes people were in were no longer sufficient for them being at home with a partner and children all needing to work and school from home. People needed to be in closer proximity to loved ones so that they could take care of them. And the work, it took on all of this intense meaning. So the mission behind figuring out how to still do it virtually was really powerful, right? Like there was a lot behind it. So so we made this jump into virtual, and wow, Eugene, I can go on a whole long rant about everything we did, but we went virtual, and thankfully to Compass and a lot of the systems that we already had in place, and me being a little tech nerd, we were able to find ways to do everything relatively quickly. We got all our videos up on YouTube, and just started being able to do everything on a virtual level. And then to keep things fun, like there's like the connection with people. Everybody loves this idea from work from home. I do. I'm a total work from home advocate, but there is this beauty of human connection that you don't get at home, and I miss you guys, right? And so we started themed meetings and themed virtual happy hours. And so everybody jumps on Zoom wearing their favorite t-shirt or backgrounds with what they're grateful for, dressed as their favorite cartoon character. And that added a lot of connection into the time that we had to spend apart. And then come July, so we did everything virtually, and come July, things opened back up, and wow, there was just like an explosion. Eugene, you've been doing this longer than me. I'm at it 10 years. Have you ever seen anything like what happened when we were finally able to show apartments again? And people, it was crazy. So when New York City opened back up in July and people could start doing things, there was this massive explosion. I'll take a 2-second tangent. For those of you that don't know, I used to be an active real estate agent. So I'm in the industry for 10 years now. The first 4 years of my career, I was out showing apartments, helping people buy, sell, and rent. And, you know, for the last 6 years, I've been more behind the scenes handling the whole operation. But we got so busy that Eugene called me one day and was like, hey, Sarah.
I told you all she had to deal with crazy Eugene. I told you guys this.
He's like, hey, Sarah, I know you're really busy, but we need another person to show apartments because there's too many people out there and we just can't help everyone. I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's do it. Again, I love people. I was missing this connection. It was a great opportunity for me to get back out there and start connecting with everybody. But we got so busy, I had to get back in the fields and show apartments. It was also great from an operational perspective because I got a hands-on touch to everything the agents were doing and everything that they needed help with in order to get them out from behind the computer and just keep them with their people and their properties, which is our ultimate mission, so that we can service you all. And so I then came back, you know, once we were able to staff up, we hired, you know, a bunch of new, really great agents I'm super excited to have on the team. And I stepped back from showing again and then just started working on building all of this stuff to further streamline our operation so that we could get out there and be with all of you people in our properties. The year ended very successfully. We, you know, we sold almost $100 million worth of property. We did 446 rental transactions. When you consider that everything was shut down for about 4 months of the year, right? Like from March to July, it's almost, you know, 2 transactions a day that we were completing. It's how frequently people, you know, needed to move and lock down their space. So yeah, I mean, it was from my eyes, crazy, from like every step of the way, but also incredibly exciting and fulfilling because we could, you know, really help everybody in this time of need. What did it feel like for you?
Yeah, a lot of the same. Like we started the year, and for most people that know me, you know, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I love my scoreboards, my scorecards, my dashboards, my metrics. I'm prolific. I'm a prolific planner, and I really wanted to bring that to the team, and so we did it. You know, we built this proprietary goal-setting technology. We brought it to the team. Everybody set a goal. We had company goals. It's kind of like OKRs, right? Kind of like objective and key results, but our own version of it. And then everyone did it. We had this big goal-setting seminar for 2 days or almost. And then come March, I was like, okay, great. Hey, remember all that stuff we worked on, team? Why don't you take all that, crumple it up, and throw it right in the trash, as everyone kind of did in the industry. So, you know, it started, the first quarter started just fine, actually. And then, you know, we kind of saw this thing coming. I'm fortunate to be in touch with a lot of entrepreneurs from not just all over the country, but really all over the world through Tony Robbins and Keith Cunningham, and also multiple different industries. And so we saw this thing coming. Like we went to a work from home model a little bit earlier than most. You know, as you said, we went and we did videos and this and that. So when everything did in fact shut down, we were ready for it. And, you know, we had to make some minor pivots, but we continued to rent and sell apartments. And there was that adjustment period. You know, the way that I see it is kind of chunked into quarters. That first quarter, it was a scramble for everybody. Nobody knew exactly what to do. Landlord, sellers, do you hold off?
Yeah.
I don't know that anyone really knew that, you know, this whole thing would last as long as it did. Some people were predicting 30 days, 60 days. And so everybody was in a holding pattern. Do we drop prices? Do we wait for the rebound? You know, what do we do? And then you know, I think it was like May-ish where everyone's like, all right, this thing isn't going anywhere. And life needs to go on in some capacity. And so then quarter 2, you know, you started to see a lot of shifts in price range. There was this mass exodus from New York City. I mean, the vacancy rate, you know, what you see officially is, you know, 5 or 6%, but realistically speaking, it's probably over 20. There's just so much shadow inventory out there. And there's so many, like, look, you know, what this thing really did is, you know, it's common knowledge that our industry is very top heavy. What I mean by that, you know, it's the 80-20 rule, right? Like 20% of the people do 80% of the business. In our industry, it's probably like 95, you know, 5 or 90-10 or whatnot. And, you know, in an easy market, which it's been for the past 10 years or so, it is incredibly easy for anyone to do deals, you know, but in markets like this, it's really where the, you know, the cream sort of rises to the top, and all of the brokers that really know what they're doing they started to get really busy. The referrals came in, and the brokers that didn't really know what they're doing, that they got let go because of non-performance or whatnot. And so we just found our business completely exploding. We've been doing this for a very long time at a very high level. We started getting a lot of referrals. And by Q4, we were turning down business just because, I would never take on work for us that I didn't think we could handle. I say that with a grain of salt because I've certainly flirted with that line. Sarah keeps me honest there. But ultimately, by Q4, we had to turn down business because we were just, we had never done 400. I mean, to give it some perspective, our best year to date in terms of rental transactions was, I think, 330, and we did 450 last year.
Yeah.
Like, with about 3 months of shutdown. So if you think about that, I mean, we were doing, what's that break down to? Like, I think 50 deals a month, 50 trends. I mean, so it was crazy. And it wasn't that much different for sales. We had a very, very busy, in addition to that, I don't have the exact number, but I think we did like 50 or 60 sales as well. So we were really busy on both ends, despite prices adjusting. We made the right moves. We know how to communicate. We know how to read the market. We have a really extensive network of brokers. And so we were able to have a conversation of like what's really happening to get the right data. But what was really cool is this, for everyone that knows me, I've been studying and living personal and business development for, well over 10 years, and so for anyone that watched The Karate Kid, it's like wax on, wax off, paint the fades, paint the fence, paint the fence. And for me, it's been, management of expectations, managing your own states. Here's how you, operate at a high level of energy. Here's how you get people to high energy. Here's P&L, here's cash flow, here's balance sheet, here's budgets, here's goal setting, and all this stuff for 10 years. And all of a sudden, COVID comes and, it's wax on, wax off, states, budget, P&L, cash flow. Yeah. And we just, we felt really ready to manage it. They say that leaders are able to bring a level of certainty to really uncertain times, and I got some really beautiful messages from, my wife and the team and some clients, and that like, Eugene, if I had to do this whole experience without being a part of your ecosystem, I have no idea what I would do, but you just brought such a level of comfort to it. And it's not like I was certain the whole time. I felt equipped with the tools to navigate the storm. And that felt really cool. Not from a place of ego, but like for anyone that knows me knows how much I love people and to help and to serve, and to be able to have positive impact during such a time for so many people like that. That's something I don't think I'm ever going to forget, and something to like build on.
For sure.
Actually, it's a good transition. So knowing what you know now, Sarah Katz, what would you have done different come like February or like early March? You've never heard of COVID. Knowing what you know now, what would you have done different?
Wait, but then COVID still happens?
Correct.
I think, you said it before, nobody really knew how long things were going to last. And when everything started happening, I was optimistic, and every couple of weeks I'm like, all right, and I don't remember when I realized that this was, what life was going to be for the foreseeable future. But I think what I would have done different, it probably was a couple of months, a good 2-3 months until it was like, all right, this is what life is going to be like. And I think I would have acknowledged that sooner, right? Just as soon as it started happening, because I think it would have sped up some of the things that we chose to do in terms of pivoting to get virtual and be able to still execute.
Right.
And just, kind of better positioned us and put us 3 months ahead of, everything that started happening, or put me 3 months ahead of where I was. Yeah.
Cool. Maybe hone your agent skills a little bit before getting just thrown into the field.
Yeah, you can go refresh on.
By the way, it happened just like that. Sarah and I are sitting in a meeting. We're sitting in a meeting at Fabrica, our normal weekly executive meeting, and I'm like, "Hey, Sarah, so I have an idea. Where this and this is happening. How do you?" And literally, one of the line items was time management. How do we manage everything in her world? And I'm like, so now that we're done with that piece, I have this idea. What if you went in the field, rented a whole bunch of apartments, made some extra cash, and got to do it all with the like operations hat on so you could fine tune the system? And here's what I love about Sarah Katz. No part of her went like, whoa, we need to figure this out. She just went like, yeah, bring it, and like figured it out. It's truly special, the dynamic we have.
I perform much better on the go.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I am in operations, and I love a good plan. But my plan usually comes together as I'm doing the thing.
Well, look, they say entrepreneurship is jumping out of an airplane and building the parachute on the way down. And I can say from firsthand 10-year experience, Sarah Katz, that you are through and through an entrepreneur. What would I do different? Well, for most people that know, this is my office and this is my apartment. And if you notice, let me do that. That doesn't really work when you're here. Okay, well, let's see if I can make, there you go. This is my home office. This is how you enter my home office. There you go. So if you notice, there are no doors, there are no walls, there are no windows. And I've got twins. I've got a 4.5-year-old boy and girl and a wife. And so what I would have done different is build, and a dog. He's cool. He's cool. He doesn't really interrupt. But I would have built walls, windows, and doors. Because let me tell you something. It was easily a solid quarter before Julie and I figured out how to manage this whole situation. For 3 months, it was keep it down there. This isn't your office. This is also our house. In 3 months, we were like figuring that piece out, as I'm sure everybody was. And the kids, they have no shame. The kids, they'll just, I'll be in the middle of an Instagram live, or I'll be in the middle of like a developers meeting, and like they'll have no shame to just walk in the shot and be like, hey, what's up? The funny thing is, what's changed isn't them. What changed is us. Like culturally, we shifted. Now, every meeting, I don't even care if they walk. They're part of decoration. You know, like they're parts now. And by the way,
I love when they interrupt our meetings. It's great.
And by the way, now I use them as a tool, as a resource. Like if we have to have a tough conversation, price drop, you know, something. We're gonna start the meeting with the kids. Oh, say hi to the developer, really nice man. So now we've jumped into it. Jackie, thank you very much for the kind words. Leanne, really ironic to see you here. I'm gonna keep this kind of cryptic. But email me about that thing we were talking about many years ago. Maybe there's an opportunity. Email me, Leanne. elivac@compass.com. Kate, how are you, my love, Kate? Yeah, so it's been really cool. But what I would do different, in all seriousness, is when this whole thing first happened, my entire mindset was like, okay, things are about to get financially difficult for a minute. Things are about to get interesting. Because all of a sudden, it's completely logical to think that, you know, revenue is going to come down, and, you know, what's going to happen with expenses and whatever. And so, you know, we did a lot of those functions. Never would have I foreseen the kind of bounce back we experienced. And then we did hire these great agents, and we hired VAs to outsource things, and we did all this stuff. But we did all of it under the gun. And in hindsight, I do think we could have handled all of that much better, much more streamlined, much smoother, much less stressfully, had we planned for that. But again, if you talk to anybody in the world in, you know, April or May and say to them, hey, heads up, you better start ramping up and you better hire 25% more, because in 3 months' time, even though right now nothing's going on, you're going to have an explosion. Like, you know, like, so in hindsight, I would have fine-tuned our interview process, our recruiting process, our onboarding process, had that a little more fine-tuned, so we weren't building the parachute on the way down. All right, kiddo, we got 5 minutes left. So I'm going to ask you 2 questions in one. All right. Number one, what do you want to see happen in 2021? You know, 2020 is behind us. And while it is important to, you know, reflect and all that, you know, reflection should inherently have within it planning for the future. What do you want to see in 2021, and any final thoughts? 2 for 1.
Sure. What do I want to see happen in 2021? I just want to see more unity and compassion and empathy, and say world peace. I want world peace.
Somebody hand this. Miss New York is back. Miss New York is
the
back.
pageant answer. I want world peace. No, but I mean, Yeah, really. I think everybody just needs to feel love right now. And and that's what I want to see more of in 2021. It's just people feeling happy and good and connected and
Yeah,
yeah.
that's very sweet. Any
And
final
for
thoughts,
final
Sarah
thoughts,
Katz?
I would love, if you don't mind, I'd love to just read something
Sure.
that that really touches me about thinking about home and our work and what we do. And that's how I'll conclude.
Okay, sounds
So
great.
home has never meant so much to us in so many different ways. Home is now where we live and work and eat and sleep and exercise and relax and stress out and play. Living rooms have become classrooms and exercise studios and virtual meeting rooms. Kitchens have become restaurants serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day and way too many snacks in between. Some bedrooms have become hospital quarantine rooms where we care for the sick while trying not to get sick ourselves. Home is now the place where we shelter in place. Home is where we stay to keep safe and keep our families safe and keep our communities safe. Staying in our homes is literally saving people's lives. Our homes have become life-saving devices. Our homes have become everything to us. After this, the idea of home may never be the same again. It's changing in ways that are clear to us now and in ways that won't be clear for a long time. When this is over, what will you expect from your homes? What types of places will you want to live in? What scenarios will you be preparing for? What will words like comfort and safety and community mean to you? What dreams will you be dreaming and what futures will you be planning for? How will your idea of your place in the world or the world itself be different? The future is unknowable, especially right now. But what we do know is this: our work is going to matter more than it ever has. We are the ones responsible for helping people find a home that provides a sense of belonging, a sense of security, and a sense of possibility that will be more important tomorrow than ever before. And we are ready to rise to the challenge.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Where's that from, Sarah?
It's an excerpt from Robert Refkin's, an email Robert Refkin sent to the
I
company.
knew it sounded familiar. Refkin, always putting out good stuff. I'm sure he's watching. I'm sure he watches every single TLT talks because Robert Refkin would never not support, an agent of Compass. Very cool, Sarah Katz. Very cool. I'm feeling very similar to you. And what I want to see happen for this year. This past year was really, as a lover of people that I am, it's been a tough year for me. All the division, the politics, the black white thing, the man woman thing, the all of it, just all of it. It's just been so divisive, and in many ways, it started to choke me up. It started to feel like we're working backwards, and typically, in human psychology, the way to amend or become amicable in a feud is to elevate the problem. So they say in a marriage, if you're fighting about the stupidest things, the second you find out, God forbid, that the kid is sick or something, everything goes out the window, the problem is elevated, you find a way to work together. And the truth is, when COVID happened, I kind of thought like, look, this is awful, but the silver lining is the whole world has to come together, and instead, everyone had a different opinion on shutdown versus not, and, mandate vaccine versus not. And it just feels like we're not taking the time to listen to each other, but instead everyone is just focused on preaching their own rhetoric, regardless of other opinion or findings or whatnot. So my sentiment is similar to yours. I really hope, we always hear this line from like the parents, God gave you 2 ears and one mouth so you can listen. I just, my sentiment is that I really hope in this coming year, we could really learn to hear each other, and be more committed to solving the problem than to being right. Because too often, we're so committed to being right, we no longer even care about the problem anymore. And that's not on purpose. I think a lot of that is subconscious, is unintentional, is whatnot. For example, Instagram, I'm proud of you. Instagram, I've been calling Instagram's ass out for literally all year long.
For what?
I'm about to tell you, all year long, I'm calling Instagram out. I've started almost every single one of our podcasts saying, Instagram, get your game up. How come someone has to request access to the show, right? So you and I haven't done a live in nearly 30 days. I opened my live. I'm like, whoa, everything looks different. And first I was like, gulp, where do I go? And I'm like, all right, calm down. You figure it out. There's a little thing at the top. When I tap this little thing at the top, it says, click here, invite to join.
Oh.
Get your game up, Instagram. And it says it while both of us are on, which means now we can have more than one guest at a time.
You think? No, I think they're in the waiting room. I don't think it's more than one.
Okay, maybe to be vetted, But Instagram, I think Instagram heard me. I think they're watching us. I think they heard me.
Of
I
course.
think we have found a solution. No, but seriously, I just hope that everyone, I hope that everyone's well and safe. I hope everyone hears each other. And most importantly, you know, I'm always talking about framing. You want to be in the right frame in order to make good decisions. If you're over here at home or wherever you are, waiting for things to go back to normal, to the way it was, you are in for a really tough life, my friends. What it was, it will never be again. And good. Why
It'll
should
be
it
better.
be? Yeah, that's right. That's right. Every time that there's, you know, some kind of tragedy or hardship or difficulty, from there we learn, we grow, we evolve, we get better. You know, we get more enlightened. And so, you know, I wish for everyone, just look at 2021 as something new, you know, like we will go back to traveling. We will go back to having dinners together. All of that will come back, but also things will be new. There will be a new normal. There will be a new, so don't be stuck in what it was before and waiting for it to come back to it before. Instead, help design the new, right? And on the foundation of listening, learning, hearing, collaborating. Sarah Katz, I love you with all of my heart, buddy. I'm really proud to be not just you know, partners, but to be friends. You're like my little sister. You're a part of the family. And I'm a better person and entrepreneur because I know you. So I thank you for all your efforts and your time and your everything.
Thank
Cheers.
you for letting me come on the show.
Cheers for 2021 to everyone. Have a great year. We'll see you guys. Write us, email us, call us. We'd love to hear from y'all.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
See you guys. Have a good one.